Hi, I am Satish. I am here to demonstrate how to deploy a Java Servlet application in Apache Tomcat. The operating system that I am using is Linux Mint, and it is very much similar to Ubuntu. So the commands whatever I use here, all those commands can also be used in Ubuntu. And of course, I don't think this demonstration depends upon the type of operating system. In case of Windows also, I hope this video will definitely help you. To do this experiment, we require two softwares. One is Java and application server-side software called as Apache Tomcat. Java is required, Apache Tomcat is required. So before I actually get into this topic, let me tell you the actual importance of learning Java servlets or JSPs. Servlet or JSP, these two are called as application programming languages. Let us consider one small example. Let's consider the home page of facebook.com. Whenever you or me, whomever, type www.facebook.com, you can see this page. This page will be as this. This page is called a static page. Usually these kind of static pages are developed using a markup language called as HTML. But now see what happens when I try to log into the account. I am providing the username and password. When I logged in, into the account, you can see this page. In this page, the content is not static. The content changes minute by minute. So this is not a static page. This page cannot be developed just by using HTML. We require a program. We require definitely a program. That program is nothing but say a servlet or JSP. These two, any one of these two can be used to develop such kind of dynamic pages. So we use Java or JSP in Java environment. In case of Microsoft environment, we have ASP, and apart from Java servlets, JSP and ASP, this kind of dynamic content can also be generated using PHP. So anyhow, in this video I am using Java servlet. Once if you understand how to deploy a servlet, then you'll be knowing how to deploy a JSP as well, because both are same. JSP is a small extension to Java servlet. Right now we'll get into the topic. As I mentioned, we require two softwares. One is Java and other is Apache Tomcat. If Java is not available in your machine, please download it. In Google, you please type download JDK. Go to the very first link, which is part of oracle.com, where very easily you can download Java version 7 or 8. I recommend 7 or 8. You can download JDK 7 or JDK 8 from this website. In case of Windows operating system, you will get .exe file, and in case of Ubuntu or Linux Mint, you can directly download the zip file. Once after downloading the file, in case of .exe, that means Windows operating system, you can install Java, and in case of Linux Mint or Ubuntu, you extract that zip file and place it wherever you want. In my case, I placed in home directory. Here is a folder you can see, JDK 1.7. That means it's a Java version 7. When I open it, there is a bin directory. You can see these two files, Java C and Java. These two are used for compilation and execution. We use the command Java C and Java for execution. And unfortunately, whenever you install Java, very unfortunately our machine cannot recognize these two commands, because we use console screen for executing our programs. So our console will not recognize these two commands. So we should tell our computer, our machine, that these commands are available in this particular location. So please copy this path. We need to set this path. In case of Ubuntu or Linux, please type the following commands: sudo gedit, that means editor. Using this editor, I am going to open a file called as environment. This file is available in etc. Provide your password. Then you can see here path variable. By the very first time, if you are using this file very first time, means you will have only a path variable with this particular value. Now you need to embed one more value, whatever we have copied. We have copied this location, home, the directory. Under my home directory there is Java. Under bin we have executables javac and Java. To recognize these two commands, we need to set path like this. Okay, so once after doing it, now the second software what we require is Apache Tomcat. If you do not have Apache Tomcat, you can very easily download it from internet. Download Apache Tomcat. And here you can download 8 or 9. So I recommend 8, which is a standard version. It works good with Java version 7 or 8. So you go to this particular link. These are the links through which you can download this Apache Tomcat. In case of Windows, you can directly click on this. You will get .exe file through which you can install it directly. And in case of Linux, Mint or Ubuntu, you can download tar.gz or zip file. Any one of these two you can do it. Or directly you can download a zip file in case of Windows also. But I recommend for Windows you can directly go to the service installer, because switching on that server, that means startup and shutdown commands are done through a simple icon. So you'll get those icons in start menu in case of Windows. In case of Linux, we need to start and shut down manually. So anyhow, as I am using Linux, I have downloaded this file tar.gz, and later on I have extracted that to the same home directory. In the same home directory, I have extracted this file Apache Tomcat 8.0.32. This file I have extracted. Once after extracting, now our environment is okay, that we have two softwares in our machine. One is Java and other is Apache Tomcat. Before we get into the experiment, I need to tell you something that is very important. Look at this file, a simple servlet, Java servlet, where I've used only one method, doGet method. In init method, I have taken one variable called as message. I have initialized value hello world. In doGet method, I am just printing the content of the variable message. Inside message, as there is hello world, when I execute this particular program, I should see hello world on the browser. Not on console output screen, on the browser. So first of all, we need to compile this program. After compilation, a class file will be generated. That class file we should host in Apache Tomcat. Okay, and I'll show you through a small diagram here. If you are a developer, this is your machine in which there are two softwares. Java is there, Tomcat is there, Tomcat server is there. You are the developer, and you have compiled your Java program so that Java class is generated. This class file plus web.xml file. I'll tell you what is this web.xml file. This class as well as web.xml file, these two we need to keep in Apache Tomcat server. This, of course, in our same mission. When it is kept, in order to execute that class file, we need to connect to our own mission. We have to use loopback address. loopback address. Generally, to connect to the other computers, we will be using IP address. To connect to our own machine, we have one facility. That facility is nothing but loopback address. That loopback address IP address is 127.0.0.1, and the name of that particular IP is localhost. So you can directly use localhost instead of using 127.0.0.1 localhost colon. You can see here 8080. 8080 is a port number which is the default port number where this Apache Tomcat server runs. So during the installation in case of Windows, you can see that 8080, the default port number is already assigned. You need not to change it because Apache recommends this port number 8080. This is absolutely free port that is reserved for Apache Tomcat in any machine. So this is what we are going to do. I am trying to show with a small diagram. So we are going to host our Java class file as well as web.xml file in Apache Tomcat server. Right, now as I mentioned that web.xml file, how this web.xml file looks like. I think it's better I'll compile this file and then I'll get back to this topic web.xml file. Okay, right, let me compile this particular file. Before compilation, you can see these two packages, Java x.servlet and Java x.servlet.http. And this is very important to know that these two packages are not from Java. Okay, Java doesn't provide these two packages. So these two packages are from Apache Tomcat. So we are importing these two packages in our program means actually Java bin doesn't have these two packages. That's why some jar file Apache Tomcat has to provide. Otherwise we cannot include these two packages. So where is that jar file from Apache Tomcat? So we'll try to locate that particular file now. In home, let's go to Apache Tomcat folder. In Apache Tomcat folder, you can see this folder called as lib, means library, Apache Tomcat's library. If you open it, you can see a jar file called as servlet-api.jar. It's very important to remember this name. The file name is servlet-api.jar. If you wanted to become a very good developer of an application programmer in Java, then you will be regularly using this particular file, servlet-api.jar file. Okay, so to make our machine to recognize this jar file, simply copy this path. Now we need to set class path. As in the way we have set path, we need to set class path now. Right? Use the command whatever we have used earlier, sudo, that means you need to have a root credential to do this activity, gedit in editor, in etc, try to open the file environment. Right, if you are using class path by the very first time, then you won't have this one. Okay, your file will look like this. Okay, in that case you should type class path equals to, okay, like this. You can see here this line, whatever you have just copied that path up to here I have copied, and then please type this jar file manually. Okay, servlet-api.jar file. I hope you find the importance of remembering this file name now. So not only for this purpose, it's very important to remember this file name, servlet-api.jar. Because all the methods, classes, whatever we use related to servlet and JSP are well defined in this particular jar file. That's why it's very important to have a class path that is set to this particular location. Okay, right. Most of the configuration work we have done now. We have downloaded Java, we have set the path, we have downloaded Apache Tomcat, and we have set the class path. Of course, I haven't downloaded, but at least I suggested how to download those Java and Apache Tomcat, because Java and Apache Tomcat are already available in my machine. I hope it's a simple job that you can do it. Now, after setting this environment like this, now we are ready to compile our program. And in your case, if you have set path and class path, please remember this point, path and class path. Immediately after setting these two variables, you need to restart your computer. In case of Linux Mint or Ubuntu, in case of any Linux operating system, you need to restart your computer. So as to see the effect of path variable and class path variable, you have to restart it. But in case of Windows, you can set this class path and path directly in my computer. Right clicking it, you can go to the environment variables. You can go to the properties and you can see environment variables there. In user variables, you can create path variable, you can set the value. You can create class path, you can set the value. It's quite easy job in case of Windows operating system. So from my computer properties, you can set those two values. And in case of Windows operating system, you need not to restart your computer. Immediately after setting path and class path, the control will be given. But here in case of Linux, to see the effect of path and class path, we have to restart it. But as I have already set these values, I need to restart my computer now. Right now, let's compile our file hello.java. Before that, let me take these two files on desktop. Okay. So in desktop, I have a file called as hello world.java. Now we are compiling this. Compilation is successful. In case if you have wrongly assigned a class path or path, if any one of these two are wrongly set, then your Java file will not be compiled successfully. In this case, in my case, Java path and class path are set correctly. That's why the compilation is successful. After compilation, a class file is generated. Right. We have a small procedure now to deploy our class file in Apache Tomcat. Right. We have now we are going to deploy this class file in Apache Tomcat. Before that, you should know one thing. When we deploy this in Apache Tomcat will not be knowing that you have pasted some file there or you have hosted some file there. Apache Tomcat will be knowing everything by looking at the small configuration file called as web.xml file. Please remember this file always. Web.xml file is very important because for every for our applications, the application related things we have to update in web.xml file. For an example, we are going to host a very small application called as Hello World. This entry should be made in web.xml file. This class path along with this web.xml file needed to be hosted in Apache Tomcat. Right now, if I'll show you what is this web.xml file and how it looks like. It's a simple XML file with a root tag called as web app. Here is the closing tag of web app. We have two entries here, servlet and servlet mapping. In our case, the servlet class is hello world, but here it is hello servlet. Let's change. Our class name is hello world. Now we are telling our Apache Tomcat that this is the class name. For this class name, you can set the name of servlet. The name of the servlet can be anything, but to avoid confusion or to avoid remembering servlet name, I'll use the same class name and servlet name. I have kept the same, but it need not to be same. You can use different name as well, not a problem. And here also let it be hello world, and here also let it be hello world. Right. You see here this line is very important. URL pattern hello world. So after hosting Java file in Apache Tomcat, end user, that means we use this pattern to execute our Java class file called as hello world. So this is the pattern that we will be using. Slash is very important. So before slash there will be some path. That path is nothing but the place where your Apache Tomcat runs. In our case, in our own machine, Apache Tomcat is running. In that case, as I told you, we'll be using localhost followed by port number, followed by we have to create one folder in which we have to keep our web.xml file and class file, that folder name, followed by this one. So you can see that those and all things I am not using in URL pattern because that entire path will be known to Apache Tomcat already. That's why in URL pattern you can directly give this pattern whatever you wanted to see after slash. It can be as simple as your class file, or you can just type hello also. This name need not to be as similar to servlet class, because when user types this thing, it will automatically relate it to the servlet name. The relevant class name can be found from this particular tag. So everything is well formed. It's a well formed XML document. So no problem. So remember that in URL pattern I am going to use this pattern. Oh, sorry that I did not save this document. The same name as discussed, I am doing the same activity. Right, let's save now and come out of it. Right. Now class file is ready, web.xml file is ready. From here onwards, please carefully follow the instructions. Here you need to create one folder named classes, case sensitive, small case classes, without any spelling mistake. In classes, please keep your class. In case if you have more than one class also, you need to keep in the same folder. The spelling should be classes. You cannot do any mistake here. In case if you type wrongly as class or C as capital, if not followed correctly, then you cannot reach to that particular location, because Tomcat's context of finding this particular path is based on these file names only, file names, folder names. That's why it's very important to follow this instruction. Here we need to create one more folder called as webinf, web-inf in caps. Okay, so now I keep these classes inside of webinf as well as web.xml file as well in webinf. Now I'll create one folder called as my project. The name of this folder can be anything. In case of it can be your name also, not a problem. Now keep this webinf in my project folder. Like this, we need to create our project folder. So if I open this folder, I can see webinf. Inside webinf there will be classes. Inside classes there is the class that we have just compiled just before, and the web.xml file like this. So I repeat, in webinf there will be two things. One is classes folder and other is web.xml file. You should not keep web.xml file inside classes. Please remember, these two should be in the same directory. Right. Now we need to deploy this particular folder in Apache Tomcat. In two ways we can host our application in Apache Tomcat. One is, as Apache Tomcat is running in our own machine, you can directly copy this folder, go to the place where Apache Tomcat is available, go here, and you can see a folder called as web apps. In web apps only all applications are stored. Go to this location and simply paste here like this, and now our application is hosted in Apache Tomcat. We can start seeing the execution, but I do not recommend you to do like this, because always we cannot guarantee that application server will run in our machine. In case when you start doing job in a software company, your project manager will tell you the IP address and port number where Apache Tomcat is running. At that time, in your machine, Apache Tomcat will not be available. Only Java will be available. You need to compile your class and you need to create a folder like this and you need to host it. At the time, if you know only copy pasting things, then probably you will fail to host your application. Even after knowing the IP address of application server given by your project manager, you will fail to host it. In order to host your application, the second method is create a jar file. First of all, jar file means an Java archive file. Why to create means, for an example, how do you actually send for our multiple files to a mail? How do we attach them? If we have multiple files, we'll keep all files in one folder and we'll try to zip it and we'll try to send to our friends. In the same way here also, we are trying to create a zip file which is not zip file but which is very much similar to zip file. but we should not use WinZip here. We have a separate tool called as jar. Jar means Java archive file. Using that jar tool, we have to create an archive for this particular my project, and then using browser, typing the IP address, that means localhost. From there we need to host our application. So in case if you learn this procedure, then in case if your Apache Tomcat is running in some other machine, also you will be in a position to host your application and execute your application. Right now, let's see how to create jar file. To create jar file, my folder is available in desktop. So I'll go to desktop. In desktop, I have a folder called as my project. So go to my project. Stop here. You should not move to any other directory. Please stop here. And for this entire directory, I need to create a var file. I mean, all the content for all the contents of my project, I need to create a jar file. So simply type jar, means Java archive. CVF is a command to create an archive. CVF means create a file. So you can type your own file name, or the file name can be anything. It need not to match with your folder name. In my case, I am giving my project, of course, differently. I am not using any caps lock here. My project dot var. The extension should be var. Var means web archive file. Afterwards star. Star says that please include everything from my project during the creation of an archive called as my project.var. So it means that we are including everything from the directory my project. Right? When you type enter, then you can see all these things are included in one single file. Now let's check whether var file is created or not. Go to my project, because I have created in this directory only. Yes, the var file is created now. I can simply host this var file in Apache Tomcat. Before doing that, you need to start the service of Tomcat. In case of Linux, Mint, Ubuntu or Windows, whatever the operating system it is, we need to start the service of Apache Tomcat. To start the service of Apache Tomcat in case of Windows, from start menus, you will have a direct option to start the Apache Tomcat server. But in case of Linux and Linux Mint or Ubuntu operating system, you please follow this instruction. Go to the location where your Apache Tomcat is available. In my case, it is available in, I am going to the bin directory of Apache Tomcat. In bin, there is a shell called as startup.sh. We need to run that service by executing that shell. Right, but try to do it with your root credentials. Startup.sh. Provide the password. You should see that Tomcat is started like this. Okay. Now let's check whether it is up and running or not. Open your browser. Type as localhost. The port number where Apache Tomcat runs usually is 8080. If you enter, that means, and do not misunderstand that you do not require any internet connection to do this, because we are not connecting to any other computer. We are getting connected to our own computer. That's why it is localhost :8080. In case if Apache Tomcat is running in some other machine, then instead of localhost, you should type the IP address of that particular machine. Anyhow, you should see this home page after requesting localhost 8080, this page. During installation, we need to provide our username and password. In case of Linux, Ubuntu, Linux Mint or Ubuntu, I'll tell you at the ending how to create username and password for Apache Tomcat. So in my case, I have already created username and password. At the end, I'll tell you how to create a username and password. Now I want to log into this particular service. So manager app, type it. So in case of my username and password are given already, so I'm logging. When you log in, you can see the screen. Here is a place where we need to host our application. All these are already hosted applications. So in my case, my var file is ready. It is available in desktop in the folder my project. my var file name is myproject.var. I open it. Okay, I'll try to deploy now. When it is deployed, my project, you can see here, my project is up and running. This true value says that my service is running, is under running. Right now, we have done everything. 99% of work is done. Remaining 1%, we need to check the output of this particular program. Okay. After checking this, I'll tell you at the end how to create a user in Apache Tomcat. Right now we are going to execute our Hello World application. It is available in Apache Tomcat 8080. It is available in a var file called as my project, followed by, I told you that in web.xml file we have set some URL pattern that is slash. I already typed this slash here, you can see here slash. Okay, and here we are giving the pattern that we have set in web.xml file, which is nothing but hello world. Okay, when I enter, we should see hello world. When this class is executed, hello world will be printed on the output screen. You can see here. So this output is generated by our class. This is not a page that is developed using HTML. This is a page that is dynamically generated by our Java servlet called as hello world. This is how we deploy application in Apache Tomcat. So our last task, in case of Linux Mint or Ubuntu, soon after extracting your Apache Tomcat, the very first thing you need to do is that you need to create your username and password. Right? Where do we create means in the folder called as conf. It's a configuration folder. In conf, there will be a file called as tomcat users.xml file. Tomcat users.xml file. Very easy to recognize. Please open it. When you are first time doing it, when you are first time opening this file, you will not see this line. Okay, you will have a file like this. That means no username is created, no password is created. If you do not have username and password, you cannot log into the server. So it's very important to create username and password. And here a guidelines are provided how to create a role and how to create username and password. Using these guidelines, you should create these two lines. In my case, what I have done is that one role I have created. That role is manager-GUI. It's an inbuilt role. When any user get this role, they'll be able to do administration work on that particular page. So please use this line, role name equals to manager-GUI, and create a user. In my case, I have created user Satish with password Satish. With granting roles manager-GUI. Okay, that means as this role is already available, this role is granted to Satish. Right, this is how we create a username and password. In case of Windows, you need not to worry during installation, because anyhow you will get .exe file. While during installation itself, you can provide your username and password. And in case of if you have downloaded zip file, then you need to set username and password as in the way I have told you just now. So this is how the things happens in Apache Tomcat. Not only servlets, in case of JSP also the same procedure has to be done. Anyways, thanks for watching this video.